I caught my brother cheating and confronted him about it. He told me if I tell his wife he'll convince everyone I'm a liar. 18F 33M. Hi. I'm 18F. I have two brothers 24M and 32M. Brad, 24M, just broke up with Faye, 22F, after dating for 8 years. They dated throughout high school and college. James, 33M, is married to Vicky, 35F. They both took the breakup really bad even though it was technically mutual. I honestly don't think either one of them wanted to break up. I think they just had so many people telling them that they're so young and they haven't dated other people and they should go out and explore what else is out there, even though neither of them really wanted to. My brother James was one of those people. He kept telling my brother that it was crazy that he tied himself down for high school and college, and even though Faye is a great girl he should date around a bit. Anyway, yesterday I was babysitting for this family who go to the center I work at, who live the next town over. We went for a walk and just happened to walk through town, where Faye's new apartment is. Her and my brother used to live together. She couldn't afford the rent there on her own, so she got a new place. It's right on Main Street, so it's not like we went out of our way or anything. So we're walking by and I see my oldest brother's truck there. It was definitely his, which is whatever. There are like a million reasons why he might be there. But then on my way home, about 1 AM, I was at a takeout place across the street from the apartments eating with my friend, and my brother walks out with Faye. They talk outside his truck for a bit and it all seemed totally normal, but then she goes to walk away and he grabbed her arm and pulled her back towards him and kissed her. Then they both got into the truck and drove away. So I posted this morning about what to do, and a lot of people told me to tell him to tell her, so I went to him and I told him what I saw, and I told him that if he didn't tell his wife that I was going to. He didn't really react at all. He just rolled his eyes and said, not in his exact words, but that if I told his wife anything he would just convince everyone I was jealous of Faye and was lying to cause drama. I told him he was a jerk and I was going to tell her anyway, so he literally said fine, pulled out his phone and FaceTimed his wife. When she picked up he was like, "Carrie has something to tell you," and handed me the phone. I just froze up and didn't say anything because I wasn't prepared for it. His wife was just like, "What was that all about?" And my brother was like, "Oh, it's just her being dramatic again." Then he hung up and told me that I had no idea what I was talking about, and if I didn't mind my own business he would make things worse for me. Now I'm really confused as to what I should do, because what if I tell her and she doesn't believe me, and now everyone thinks I made up a horrible story and hates me? Move on to the comment. I'd start with talking to Brad, since James was probably fucking his girlfriend before they broke up. Ew, I never thought of that. Honestly, Brad deserves to know from you more than Vicky does. He's your brother. Even if this started after the breakup, his brother is sleeping with his ex, and that's beyond fucked. That betrayal plus threatening you says everything y'all need to know about James. Sibling solidarity with Brad is the way to start. There's likely a lot about Brad's relationship and breakup with Faye that you don't know, and this info could help him get some answers. Next time, grab proof. I bet if you go to that town some other time, you can photo his truck at her apartment. That would really help him not be able to lie to his wife. I caught my ex-fiancé cheating on me with a married man. When I confronted the dude about him telling his wife, he basically said the same thing your brother did to me. And his wife's first response after I told her, was, "Do you have any proof?" In this day and age of technology, solid evidence is easy to gather. A photo sends 1,000 words. But also definitely chat with your other brother about this. She asked you for proof. Sorry, is that normal? If I were in a committed relationship with an ass, I would believe the stranger straight away. If my partner were still great to me, then I would turn a blind eye. Who asks for proof and why? Do they want to use it court? I don't know, but I was a stranger. I don't know anything about her husband. I don't know if they went to court. But from reading other stories like mine, the stranger telling the spouse they are being cheated on, will probably not believe you, unless you have some evidence other than your word. Your brother is not a good person. People who double down on a lie like this are scary and seemingly capable of the awful things. Not only that, he was ready for confrontation. He denied something very emotionally charged so nonchalantly, almost like he had it rehearsed, and then called his wife and put up on the spot, knowing it's an emotionally charged situation and she would likely not be prepared, in order to build his alibi/story of her being dramatic. This guy is either evil, a sociopath, or both. 100%. Just remember your whole life that instead of begging you not to tell or agreeing to do what you said when he was caught like a normal shithead cheater, he threatened you and raised the stakes by showing he was willing to involve other people. Never trust him. Never believe him. Never depend on him for anything. Never let him know you don't trust or depend on him. Just don't catch his attention and be around him as little as possible. But when big stuff for family members like end-of-life care or inheritance comes around, remember that he can't be trusted. And maybe Brad will be able to get an admission from Faye that you can send Vicky as proof. That's probably why he talked your brother into breaking with his GF, so he has been or wanted to bone her. No telling how long it's been on. That is what is really sinister. Talking him into breaking up with someone for a stupid reason and then going after her. I mean, way. Also, if you and Brad confront James again, record it so when he tries to make you a liar you have his own words against him. Don't be obvious about it, but have it recording at your side. I'd start slowly. Ask Brad that if other brother threatened your personal safety because you know something, and threatened you to keep you quiet, would Brad have your back? Then go from there. Get your brother to confront him and record it, then send the video to the wife. Or just wait till things cool off a bit, as they'll be more secretive for a while, then head back to that apartment and record it. Also, Faye has been part of your family, I assume, since she was 14 and James was 25, so there's some weird power dynamic, grooming predatory behavior on his part from the way this has played out. Please say something. It's worse than that. As a grown man, he knew her as a child. Your older brother is a disgusting predator and needs to be outed to the entire family and to Faye's family IMO. I'd tell Brad and then record, if legal where you live, me telling James that Brad knows. Download the recording to another device. Have evidence for Vicky if needed for future. I have 5 brothers and would be furious if a sibling was fucking another sibling, so that is serious betrayal. I don't think so. James was trying to convince Faye to break up with Brad. What I think happened is James wanted to sleep with Faye and thought that would only happen if they broke up, then he acted as her shoulder to cry on. Remember, Op said neither really took it well, in their opinion. Either way, not a good move on Faye's part, but can be lightly excused, not completely, since she seems to be in a vulnerable place. James, however, seems manipulative. Even if my theory above is wrong, he threatened to turn everyone on Op and have them gaslight them on his behalf. Tegan put them on the spot by calling Faye and belittling, I don't know the right word here, Op by saying they were just being dramatic. Op, get James out of your life ASAP and talk to Brad and Jam's wife. James has known her since she was 14 and he was 25. James has shown himself to be a controlling and manipulative asshat. I wouldn't be shocked if James groomed her. Convincing Brad to break up with her could be as simple as he sees her as his property. Before, James needed Brad for easy access to Faye. Now, James needs Brad out of the way so he can isolate Faye and keep her under his thumb easier. He was absolutely grooming her. Probably has been for years. He destroyed a happy relationship to take advantage of a heartbroken woman he's known since she was a child. I hope Faye can get therapy once she realizes what happened. James is a horrible person. I'm not sure if Op, Brad, Vicky, or the rest of the family should even try to salvage any type of relationship with him. Sue just BCS James is older, you're gonna pretend Faye did nothing wrong? She isn't teenager, but adult. She spent hours at her apt alone with married James, who is her ex-BF's brother. Then she went for a ride with him. That's how much heartbroken she is right now. Disgusting behavior and lack of morals on her part too. Brad and Vicky are victims, not her. And even if that isn't the case, he might be able to get Faye to admit to the current affair in writing, which will make it harder for James to discredit you. Tell Brad. Have Brad ask Faye about it. Chances are Faye is not as good a liar as your brother. Faye may admit everything to Brad and then Brad will know it's true. Then it won't just be you. This is why I always roll my eyes at the bullshit advice of confront the cheater and give them a chance to confess with a deadline. It's stupid fucking advice for this fucking reason. They are a cheater, they lie, manipulate and are scummy people. What are you people honestly expecting? All that advice does is gives the cheater not only time to come up with a story but gives time to clean themselves of all evidence. Stupid advice. Or if you do follow that advice, make sure that you've already collected all necessary evidence and come up with a concrete plan for how to tell the cheated on partner. Give them a chance to come clean but don't rely on them suddenly growing a conscience. Your older brother is a complete sociopath. Tell your other brother first and make sure to let anyone you tell know the threats James made to you when confronted. He's hoping you just get scared and back off. It's exactly what he will do to his wife if she finds out and believes it. I'm really sorry your brother is twisting your character. Please don't let it dampen your spirits about this. She deserves to know. She might not believe you but all you can do is try to tell you. Honestly, I feel like if you email her after that call she might be inclined to believe you, just because your brother's actions were odd. I'd also tell your other brother what I saw, and your parents. Tell them the exact time and location, and get your brother to call the ex and ask specifically about that exact time and the kiss and ask how long she has been seeing his older brother. Putting people on the spot with facts like that is a good way to get them to fold, especially if completely out of the blue. If he warned her, though, it might be an issue. Tell your other brother first. Tell him what you saw and tell him how your other brother reacted when confronted. He might have insight into something you're not aware of and together can make a plan to tell his wife. Make sure you give her all of the date, times, and location details. He was out after midnight and unless he's been doing that regularly for years, it will probably stand out to your sill. Regardless of how this goes, I'd go as NC with your oldest brother as possible. He's a selfish and I wouldn't trust him at any point going forward. Plus he's a creep because he basically watched this girl grow up and still pursued her sexually. Grow up and still pursued her sexually. Grow up and